going to start off here explaining a little bit about my AR-15. Now, my AR-15 is made especially deadly because not only does it have a 30-round mag in it, it has two of them, because one of them's duct taped to the other one. Now then, that being said, the total number of people that this gun has successfully killed, or tried to kill, or tried to injure, in any way, has been zero. It spends almost its entire life sitting in a locked case collecting dust. Occasionally it's killed a few pieces of paper when I can actually hit something with it. Now then, let me explain why someone would want a gun like this for something other than mowing down as many people as possible. Now firstly, the configuration I have mine set up in is a multi-role setup. So it's designed, in this case, to be for home defense as well as for target shooting. In the current configuration, and the reason I have the second magazine taped to the first magazine, is because in the middle of the night, if I have someone come in my house, I do not want to have to find more ammunition. This way, I grab the gun, and I already have a free reload attached to the gun. The light on the side of the gun, which is an advantage that AR-15s and many other semi-automatic rifles and even bolt-action rifles have, is having rails on it. And by having rails, it's much easier to attach things like lights on it. The light on my AR-15 is because in my house, the light switches are not all in a easy-to-locate place. And to be perfectly honest, half of them I don't know where they are without looking for them. So, I don't want to rely on having to turn on the house's power supply in order to see what's in a particular room. I can simply just shine a light already attached to the gun. And the light, because it's a little bit focused on this particular light that's on this gun, kind of gives me a general idea where the gun's pointed at. Now then, the sight that's on it is an EOTech 552. It takes AA batteries, so I can give it new batteries just for my TV remote. The reason I have an EOTech on this is so that I can acquire the target much more quickly without having to focus on the sights. This reduces the chance of me hitting something that I don't want to hit. The other reason for it is that it's cool. Looks good on the gun, makes the gun easier to use. It's not needed, however, if you just want to shoot a whole bunch of people, because you're just going into like a crowded room and you're unloading into the people there. You don't need to aim. Therefore, you don't have to waste about $500 on a sight. Now, what's behind that sight is a magnifier. The one on my particular gun is a 3x magnifier. And what this gives is the ability to have something of like a little bit of scope. Now, I can flip that to the side and it's just a 1x. In other words, there's no magnification. And that allows me to use it for home defense. And then when I go to the range, and say I want to go plinking at 100 yards and I don't want to have to really struggle to see the target out that range, I can flip the magnifier in, making my rifle into a target rifle. Now then, you'll notice on the left side of the gun, on the end of the barrel, it has a flash suppressor. This is one of those real evil devices that everyone wants to ban. All the flash suppressor does, and in this case it does two things, because it's also a compensator. And I'll get into the compensator in a moment. The flash suppressor suppresses the flash of the gun down to a level where it's not going to blind you. If you're in a dark room and you fire this thing, the flash from the muzzle can blind the shooter. What this means now is that after I've taken the first shot at someone who broke into my house, I now no longer can see. So I can no longer reliably get rounds onto the target, and I increase the chance I'm going to hit somebody or something that I do not wish to hit. Now, being a compensator basically means it redirects the gases up, and this pushes the muzzle down, which reduces the muzzle climb. How effective that particular one works as a compensator, I would say is questionable. This particular AR does have a bit of muzzle climb if you rapid fire it. It's not really a good gun for rapid firing in this particular one, at least with my particular skill level. which is not particularly high. But the beauty of an AR is that you don't have to be at a high skill level. You can buy one and then never touch it and have it for home defense. And because of those 30-round magazines, you don't have to be the best shot in the world because you can afford to miss shots without having to think to yourself, okay, I've only got 2 more shots left, I better make them count. You're unlikely to encounter that problem with an AR-15. Now then, the pistol grip. You'll notice the pistol grip allows the gun to be more comfortably used by more people. It gives you a little bit better stability when you're firing from the shoulder. A misconception that some people have is that the only purpose of a pistol grip is to make the gun easier to fire from the waist because it's a military-style weapon. No. The AR-15 is not designed to be fired from the waist. A pistol grip actually makes a gun more uncomfortable to hold down at the waist, and there is not a single military on the planet that teaches their soldiers to hip fire the gun. Moving on. You'll notice on the back of the gun, there is a stock. Most rifles have them. The stock on this gun is adjustable, and in some gun grabbing states, that's an evil feature, California being one of them. The logic that I think that they have behind the adjustable stock being bad is possibly twofold. One, that having the adjustable stock makes the gun easier to use in close quarters combat. And 2, that having the adjustable stock makes the gun collapse down smaller, making it easier to conceal. Now first off, that stock on that gun, as you see it now, is collapsed almost all the way down. That gun is not going to get any smaller, short of me cutting something off of the barrel, which in this barrel length configuration would make the gun illegal, or cutting down the stock to make the stock physically shorter. And on this gun, you can't cut much of the stock off because the stock is your buffer tube, which is something that you can look up yourself to understand what a buffer tube does. No. The purpose of the stock on this gun being adjustable is twofold. One, by being adjustable, you can use the gun regardless of your arm size. The reason why that stock configuration is so popular is that you can buy that gun as I have it set up here, and you can hand it to your 16-year-old daughter who's about 5 foot with real short arms, and she can use it. Then you can go hand it to your buddy who's 6'5" with arms like a gorilla, and he can pull the stock all the way back out, and he can fire it comfortably. So one, so many of them are in that configuration because when you're trying to sell the gun, the more people that gun can work for, the more people who will be interested in buying it. The other reason for having the adjustable stock is more of a military reason, though it does have a civilian application because civilians can attach stuff to their chest, like say you're wearing a heavy jacket. Basically, it allows you to make the stock shorter so that if you have stuff that might be on your chest, say a real heavy jacket, you can make that stock shorter so it better fits how you're now configured. Whereas if it's middle of summer and you might just be wearing a t-shirt, you can make it longer now because the stock has to go further back to reach your shoulder. That's why there's an adjustable stock. Does it make it a little bit easier in close quarters? Sure. Is that bad? I would say no. If you're doing home defense, which is why a lot of people have these rifles, you want close quarters performance. And by being able to move the gun around by having a shorter stock means that you're better able to defend your home. That's a good thing.